Today, welcome everybody, but most of all, I want to welcome our guest speaker today is Wesley, the CEO of LinkU. Wesley, welcome. I'm so excited to actually do this with you because I don't know much about your company. So talk to us. Tell us about a little bit more about your company. Before we dive into it, I do want all our listeners out there, I keep saying listeners because I have my own radio show, and I keep saying listeners, all our attendees, all our attendees to tell us where you guys are from. So let's go. What city and state are you from? I would love to know, where you're from. So let's start. Okay, so here we go. We've got Lovins from Charlotte, North Carolina, Massachusetts. Welcome. We've got Ormond Beach, Florida. So this is so fun because we see people, we talk to realtors from all over, Wesley. And, we've got someone from Seattle. We've got from sunny Ventura. Yes, Ventura is sunny. Well, Northern California is a little sunny and chilly here as well. Sacramento, welcome, Tina. So we've got people from all over the place. So I'm so excited to do this webinar with you. And once again, we are here with Wesley, the CEO of LinkU. So Wesley, welcome.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here again. These 2 weeks go by really fast. So,
yes.
You have a webinar coming up? Like, really? Wow. I don't know. Is anyone else having audio problems? I don't think so.
Yeah,
so
no, we're
hopefully
good.
Tiffany figures it out.
We're good. Yeah, Tessa, we're good. Yep, we're good on this side.
Yeah, I think we're good.
They might want to log in and log off, Tiffany. Anyway,
So I'll tell you a little bit about what we're doing. Have some cool stuff to cover today. Basically, we're talking about the fastest way to grow your business or grow your real estate. You sell more transactions. I talk to a lot of agents. Mm-hmm. We were talking earlier, and I think a lot of people, they get kind of, I think, stuck in their mind. They run in circles like, how do I grow this? Or how do I do this? Or how do I get to that next level?
Right. And they get stuck in the now instead of the building of the momentum in their business, right? To keep it going. And so that's why I'm so excited to talk to you again, because you will give us a few tips about how to really dig into our databases and sphere of influence a little deeper.
Yeah. And one thing too, it's funny because, we teach this stuff and we have students and everything, and they'll go through this, and sometimes it takes a little bit for that light bulb to finally go off. I had an agent who we're working with. She was spending, I think she spends like $3,000 a month or something on Zillow, right? But she's not getting that many leads. She's getting like 15 or 20 leads, if that. And so that's a lot per lead, and I think she's had some success, but we kind of, we're saying, hey, like, how many people have you worked with in the past? She's been doing it for like 25 years or something. So she's met a lot of people. She knows a lot of people. She's worked with a lot of clients over the years, and they're real personable. And she kind of finally had this realization, which was what I'm going to share with you, or partially what I'm going to share with you. And that was, the assignment was go call some of your people. Because she wasn't really doing that. Yeah, she was dealing with a lot of new stuff, trying to go with the Zillow leads and trying to do expireds and doing all these different things.
Right.
Anyone here feel like stuck? Are you, she was stuck. She was like, she's been kind of selling the same number of transactions for the last 2 or 3 years. Mm-hmm. Give or take a few. Anyone else feel like kind of stuck in that area?
Yeah.
Where you feel like
Tiffany says duh. So a lot of us get stuck in our in our business, I think a lot of us get stuck in the now, like I said earlier, right? We get stuck in the now. We get stuck into, something that I say a lot is, are you working on your business or in your business? And sometimes we get stuck in the daily minutia of our business instead of really focusing on not only new leads, but also focusing on what you've sold. They know you, they like you, they've done business with you. What are you doing to connect with them, right?
Exactly. And that was it, right? So I preach this, right? Why are you doing that? Why don't you do this? Why don't you, like, how many of you spend any advertising dollars or marketing dollars on your database? And I know some of you do, but a lot of people, they're flailing around, and in this case, she was spending that money on Zillow, and she just had this realization, well, why am I spending $300 a lead on Zillow when I should be putting that time and effort into my database to people who already know, like, and trust me? Like, what am I doing? And the light bulb finally went off. It took about 6 weeks, but it finally, once she started doing that, she started having conversations with people. She realized people did want to hear from her, and that those conversations typically turned real estate, not by her doing it, not by her calling and asking for something, but her just simply calling just to catch up, just to see what's going on. And if she could find a way to deliver value, she would. But a lot of times some of these people are like, oh yeah, I'm glad you called. We want to start looking again. Oh, really? Because they were, they're older, they were looking to buy previously, put things off, and now they want to do it again. I think she made 8 calls, reactivated 2 buyers,
Wow.
who were looking. We've had people just like, no, I don't want to do it, kicking and screaming, you're gonna do it. you're gonna reach out. And like, I don't want to. I had one lady, it was like the first call, of course, the first call. This isn't typical, folks, but first call, she reaches out. Person's like, oh yeah, I was just thinking about you. I have these units that I want to put up for sale. She had 8 listings, units. Let's meet. So right there, 8 listings, just like that. And then, so, there's all the other things too you get by reaching out.
We forget about them. It's so easy to say, okay, the deal is done, let's move on. But we don't understand as realtors that there's business right there, right in front of you, that you're not actually touching. And I think that is so important for us realtors to realize that, right?
Right. I think we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
And I had asked you, where did most your business come from? I know a lot of people, their business comes from referrals,
right?
But a lot of times it's by accident. Yeah. In this case, this agent, the one I was talking about, she had like 15 referrals for that, or no, I think she said 50% of her clients were referrals, and she didn't even know that. She didn't know they were referrals.
Right.
I think because we were saying, hey, you got to get to the numbers, and we were just know your basic numbers. Just know your basic numbers. Yeah. And she finally started going through to look at, just kind of get some basic numbers together. And that's when she realized, because once you start doing that, you start realizing, where are those deals? Where have they been? And she didn't realize this entire time. She thought these were all coming from like somehow, some way they were tied to Zillow, because I think she was trying to justify the spend. But in the end, it ended up turning out to just people referring her. One, she was telling another call she got the other day, and this was kind of like the final kick in the butt that really, I guess, got her to make the change. And she had a client call up or a past client say, oh, hi, her name, I'll just say Rosa. Okay. Hi, Rosa. I don't know if you remember me, but you had sold my house back in blah, 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 blah. And we're looking to, I have a friend or something who wants to sell their house. Can you help them? And she just thought, how sucky of me to make this person feel like, hey, I don't know if you remember me. And here she is referring someone to me, Yeah. So that was kind of the final.
I'm hoping that invoked something in her to say, I better start calling all my past clients, or my, my referral sources or whatever it is. But, everything that's happened in the past year, we tend to sometimes forget just to pick up the phone and say, hey, how are you doing? Just the simple human fact right there to pick up the phone. And it's a simple conversation to have, really. You're not asking for the business. You just want to be on top of their mind as well. So tell us a little bit about what is it you do and what does your company do for this? What is LinkU all about?
Yeah. So basically, we help people to keep in touch with their database. Okay. That's pretty much, what we focus on. If you have leads and stuff, we help you. So essentially we have something called the ultimate follow-up machine. That's kind of the play, right? Okay. We're building the ultimate follow-up machine. That's what we offer. The ultimate follow-up machine is more like a done for you follow-up, like full service. You almost have like a follow-up assistant who ensures like all these campaigns are running and everybody's getting followed up with. It's systemized, that whole thing. That's a bit more expensive, and we only accept X amount of people per month to do that program. But then we also have programs that lead up to that. So for example, in working with all these agents and in helping them, what I ended up doing was creating basically a course and a software, a platform, or blueprint, should I say, to help them follow up. And I'll get more into it later. I'll go a little bit more in depth. So if anyone's interested in hearing about that, I definitely would love to tell you guys more about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's kind of the idea. And what I realized is, I guess what I was trying to figure out is like, what was the biggest problem with the students that we were working with, because we're trying to show them how to grow their business and things like that. And really what it came down to is this, getting them to do those things consistently. So like you could get an agent to do the calls or the texts or the reach outs, maybe a few times, like on the first week or two, and then they get busy and then they kind of get into other things and then it stops or something pops up and then they don't do it. And then they get behind. Next thing you know, 4 or 5 weeks have gone by, they're behind. Their task list is like stacked up to this. And now they're just like, it's just such a big mountain to climb anymore. They just forget it. Right. And then it's just one of those things like, you're supposed to do it, but you're just like, I don't want to. It's just such a big, where do I even start? And you're looking for other ways to close deals.
Right.
When really it's just there under your nose. So there's something I call, I don't know if you heard about it. It's called compound effect. There's a book about it. I kind of saw that in like a different way, right? You see the compound effect on my screen?
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool. So it's a book, and the way I looked at it was like, you know what? Like the compound effect, you can actually, this is something you can apply to your database. And this is like the biggest aha, right? Mm-hmm. Biggest aha is that a lot of people, a lot of the agents aren't maximizing that. So I'll give you an example. What ends up happening is agents end up like, let me explain. The compound effect is a strategy of reaping huge rewards from small, seemingly insignificant actions. So they're small, right? A call, a reach out, a this, or that. They seem small, right? They don't, you don't, sometimes you don't connect that. Like, well, how is that going to turn into a transaction, right? To a lot of agents, they don't really see that. That just sounds like a conversation. They see a lead looking for a home that turns into a transaction. So that seems like more significant. So the issue is what ends up happening is agents start working on all these different things and all these different ideas to try and create those, like get people in who are looking for homes, right? So what is happening is they don't take those actions that seem insignificant. And what ends up happening in the end is they stop following up consistently with their past clients, prospects, right? If at all, if they ever started. And the biggest kind of, I don't know if this would be, I don't know what the saying is, but what ends up happening is they think, oh, I got to go do this social media thing. I got to go do this thing. I got to do this YouTube thing or this live thing or whatever. Because they think that's significant and that's what's going to change everything.
Right.
But really what ends up happening is those things, and the majority of the things that agents are doing to grow are actually the insignificant actions. So what we thought was insignificant, you see what I'm saying? Those are the significant actions are actually what you should be doing. So this is what it looks like. If you just, and this is just to give you an idea, huh?
Focus on the insignificant actions you make.
Exactly. So the insignificant actions are really, they seem, that's the key word. They're seemingly insignificant, seemingly, but they're actually hugely significant. Mm-hmm. And so this is kind of how it works, right? So let's say you are getting new opportunities or leads if you were growing your database each month, or even if you just have a database with that's you've grown. Maybe you're growing it over years, if you've grown it over months, whatever it may be. I'll just kind of demonstrate this. If I add 50 people, this is what it looks like month 2, right? I add another 50 people. This is what it looks like month 3, month 4, or month 6, month 9, month 12. The issue is, as your database has been growing over the years, your follow-up hasn't been growing. Your follow-up is either non-existent or the same. A lot of people are only following up with like a 10% or 5% of their database, whether they're new leads, whether they're whatever. They're not really taking advantage of the fact that the list has grown, right? So some of you may say, well, how is it I'm doing kind of the same or not much more, even though I've been doing this for 10 years and my list of past clients is 5 times as big? Well, that's because you only keep contacting the most recent. You're not stacking them. You're kind of just focused on one. But if you stacked all of those, so you went back the 5-10 years and were constantly contacting everyone from year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, right? And they were every year just stacking like this, then that's what we call the compound effect. Because now you should be, as long as you're growing your database or closing deals or any of that stuff every year, let's say, or every month, you should be getting a raise every single year. And if you're not, it's because you're not leveraging this. And what does that mean? That means you're following up with basically everyone in your database, right? Or at least 90-something% of it, but you're basically following up with everyone in your database at least once a month or every other month or something like that. You know, something, obviously if you have a lot, it might take 3 months to get through everybody, but the point is you have to get through everybody. The faster, the better. The more, if you can do it every other month or even monthly. I think you said you were doing it monthly, or what did you say?
Every quarter. So basically what
every
I was
quarter. Well, you send something out, but you said you call or you do something.
2 weeks. Every 2 to 3 weeks. So once a month.
Right.
3 weeks to once a month. Definitely touch base to say, hey, how you doing? You know, just to see how they're doing. Simple conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So something like that. And it can even be, and we teach all kinds of stuff, like even it's just really having a touch, right? A personal touch. The issue is, I don't know if you've seen this, you probably have. The biggest thing that I've seen is people seem to rely on emails to basically do their follow-up for them, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Right. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let me close the loop on that compound effect.
Okay.
So with the compound effect, what I was getting into was the reason that I created this software that I was explaining is because people can't do that consistently over time, over and over for that large number of people. That's the biggest issue.
Right.
So that's why I was like, well, if we created a systemized way so that follow-up can be done, you know, at scale, essentially. So whether they have 200 people or 1,000 people or more, that those people were getting reached, whether it be a text or a voicemail or an email or something, right? That they would be reached or touched from a personal standpoint. And so all the agent essentially, as long as we can systemize that part, right? So it's as if the agent was doing their 5 calls or 5 touches a day manually. If we can automate that, And now the only part the agent has to do is, instead of spending time on the phone or texting or calling or leaving voicemails, which is what ends up happening a lot of the time, instead now the system, the LinkU platform, can do that for them. And then all they have to do is talk to the people who are like, yeah, let's connect. Yeah, I want to catch up. Yeah, give me a call tomorrow. And that's all they have to do. Now they're having 20, 30, however many conversations they're comfortable with every single month with people in their database. And you know what happens when you're having at least a conversation a day or 2 conversations a day with people in your database?
That
I'm sure you tell them.
That can definitely have the compound effect, because again, you're
Exactly.
talking, hey, who do you know? Do you have friends, family, anyone looking? It's a great time, blah, blah, blah. Right. I see where you're going with that. I like
Yeah. And even then, it's usually, you don't even have to bring it up, you know, and that's what some people are scared. I don't want to come off salesy. And it's like, well, then don't sell them. just call and see how they're doing. That's it. There's nothing else. The rest will present itself.
Yeah. It's a,
you know, you're just,
like you said, it's there's a way to do it. And obviously that's where you guys come in to showcase.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things that we really teach is something called, or not necessarily teach, but I guess teach the solution we provide and everything. It's really geared to this like omnipresence solution. I call this like one of my secrets, right? And that is, you want to be kind of seen everywhere, right? So that in between those quarterly calls or biannual calls or whatever you're making them, or should I say bi-monthly, whatever, that they're still seeing you, they're still getting exposure or getting touches from you. And that might be through, and I'm going to show you multiple ways. And the reason that's important is because of this. So this is always a great example. Studies show that when people drive by a police car on the side of the freeway, what happens? Like, how long do they slow down for?
Right. Probably.
And
yeah.
So yeah, you drive by a cop, 10 seconds. Tessa says.
I don't know. How long do they slow down?
Yeah, it's less than a mile, right? Because the cool off factor, right? Out of sight, out of mind. So if you don't see him in the rearview mirror, then you're assuming you're good, right?
Yeah.
And so this is actually something that's working against a lot of people. This is what loses people deals. This is what lowers conversions on your leads. This is what causes you to lose past clients and stuff, is this cool off factor.
Right.
You know, a lot of people, they'll reactivate a buyer, and then they'll send them some emails and not really follow up the way they should, just expecting like that buyer is going to point out something or whatever. And then that buyer cools off, and then they change their mind. And now no wonder like they don't want to do it again. And then we blame them. Oh, well, they changed their mind. It's like, well, was there anything you could have done? So we say you got to keep your prospects, your clients hot for you, right? You don't want them to cool off. You don't want that excitement to wear down. I'm sure we've all seen that. People cool off, you know, boom. Oh, I want to go buy a house. 3 days later, never mind. It's like, because they cooled off.
Right. That has happened. Well, what happened there? You know, where was the disconnect there? Tiffany just asked a question saying, if you don't have a relationship with people, why would you expect business from them? Okay, well, fair enough.
Exactly. You can't expect business from them, right? So what I found is also working with like all these agents, most of them are just sending out emails. Oh, how do you keep in touch? Oh, I send them a newsletter. Oh, I send them this. I send them that. I put them on this drip, this, whatever. Email. Well, the issue with emails is, well, the open rates, right? Spam boxes, all that kind of stuff, right? Maybe 15%. So open. There's so many emails now. The other thing too is after 24 hours, the chances of an email being open drops below 1%. So all the opens, majority of the opens you're going to get are in that first 1 hour, if they open it. Market reports, listing updates, newsletters, none of these are personal.
Mhm.
None of these show that you actually care or want to talk to them. They're just an email. Now, some of you guys do much higher quality stuff and whatever, but most of, even then, it's still not necessarily personal, right? That's why you have to do more. You have to do your text. You should do postcards. You should do calls, birthday cards, all that stuff, right? You have to create conversations to build on those relationships. Because if you don't, then it's just a one way. You're just sending stuff at them. They know it's an automation. They don't feel special in any way, shape, or form. So why should they feel endeared to you to send you a referral? They don't. The only issue is if you do it a lot, it's a little bit weird. So you can't do it too much. A lot of people are like, I don't want to do it too much because I don't want to be like stalking them. Well, that's where social media comes into play, right? I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I spent more time on this last week or 2 weeks ago. But basically, a lot of the stuff that you guys are doing on social media, honestly, is probably a waste of time because it's not really getting the reach. It's not really getting the eyes or the impressions that you want it to. Most of the time when you guys post stuff, nothing happens. Not enough people are seeing it. And the reason for that is because just no one sees your post. Facebook doesn't show it to people. It's not anything you're necessarily doing wrong. It's just Facebook can sell that space. So why are they going to give it to you for free? Right? And anything that does get shown, they only show it, like if it does show to someone, maybe who's following your business page, they'll just show it one time. That's it. Nothing more. Because again, organic, that's the free, that's just it being naturally seen. So you'd have to be posting so much, and it can't just be crap like sharing links. Like that stuff doesn't get reach at all. You have to actually put your heart and soul and stuff into your social media, which is why you see a lot of agents just turning to their personal page and doing all that stuff, right? But even then, that still requires you to spend a lot of time and a lot of effort keeping your social media going and running and doing quality stuff that people don't hate to see. So that's why I say most of the social media stuff you guys are doing, like straight up, waste of time. Like if you looked at all the numbers and really tracked it, you would see like, oh, you're right. This is a waste of time. Why am I doing it? Just to make you feel better. So your Facebook page looks like it has stuff on it.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that, where you don't get any relevance out of it. Where I think mostly it is really focusing on your, clients that have closed deals with you that are happy with you. Like I keep saying that, but that is so true, is that that business that's right there. So what are the ways do we connect with them, right?
Yeah, exactly. So there's a couple ways you can do it. One way is like to make sure you're engaging with your clients' posts, right? If some people, they become friends with their clients, we covered this, I don't know, another session, we talked about how to segment your friends and everything on Facebook with past clients. So that way you can deliver content to different types. We also talked about how that helps you so that you can actually go through just one, Facebook will actually filter all your past clients, people, and then you can go in there and then you could basically like comment on just all your past client stuff, assuming you haven't categorized. So if you use Facebook right, you could definitely do it, right? But a lot of times people are just posting random listings or random things to their business page. The business page doesn't really get too much interaction because of what I showed, or they go to boosting posts trying to generate leads off $20 or something. It's just, those things don't work. Right. And that's why I say boosting posts, you got to get it. I'm not saying it can't work, but for probably 90% of you, it won't work unless you're doing a very specific system.
Right. And here's another,
and you're just going to waste your money.
Right. And here's another thing also, Wesley, is that also you could create, your past client list where you can do all of that, right? And stay in touch with them and,
yeah, exactly.
And you can post on their page happy birthday to their son or whatever, as long as you have that information.
Exactly. And that's why one of the objectives when you're making your calls, like a lot of times what I tell my my agents to do is I say, hey, when you're on the phone with them or you're engaged in any way, say, hey, let me friend you on Facebook. And you do it right there. I was like, because when you friend them on Facebook and then you put them on their past clients category on Facebook, now you're gonna you can have more interaction with them. You're gonna be able to have and like I said, using a strategy, you could just go once a week and you have a way when they're filtered like this, you could just view all their posts in one place and just like and comment on them. And you could, and it only takes an hour and you would have done everybody's for the week, but now it makes it look like you're like so involved in everything that they're doing, but really you're just being smart about how you're doing it. A lot of times you just randomly see stuff on Facebook and you'd have to scroll for hours to get through everything.
That is a great tip.
The other thing we do is retargeting ads. So that's the better way to do it. Rather than just posting on your business page, you actually, to stay in front of your past clients, you'd actually want to use retargeting ads. I call them follow-up ads. This way you can just create a pretty good post just a few times a year, and then you can let that run for weeks or even months. And now people will see your post multiple times instead of just once. And you'll be able to reach, instead of like 10% of your followers, you can reach all of them, all your Facebook followers, in addition to people in your database and people who you may have pixeled, which, in case you want to know what pixeled is, it's like when they visit your website or something like that, they start seeing your ads. With your database, you can actually take your contacts, upload them. Facebook matches them up to existing Facebook accounts, and then they start seeing your ads. So now when you start controlling, or you're essentially controlling the ads that your prospects, your clients, your sphere are seeing online, and then you combine that, right? They sting you all over Facebook and Instagram and all that. They see your face, they see these are just a bunch of different like examples of how these posts would go. They're running for as long as you want. So you're not having to worry about, I got to post, I got to do this. They run, until you post your next one. This agent, she was feeling guilty and lazy, not doing social media the way she was told to do it. But now people are actually saying, hey, I saw your post. Hey, I saw your video. Now they're seeing it, because now all you have to do is put a little bit of money behind it. And then people start seeing it.
The omnipresence.
Right. And now you have full omnipresence, because now you might text them here and there. You might leave a voicemail another week or month. They see your ads with like video. Like we had our clients, we did a workshop. We taught them how to do really cool holiday videos and holiday greetings, put them in their follow-up ads. And for the whole month of December, these would be running and their clients would see these messages from them. Most agents, they just rely on one email blast, happy holidays, and put a card in there. And remember what happens if they're not see that within 1 hour, but the next day that's just dead. It's dead. It's over. Right. And the follow-up ads, that thing runs for the whole month. So I like to combine everything. I like to send the email, but also take some of that and put it in a ad, right? And the ad is just targeted to my list, my email list, my contacts, my Facebook followers, that kind of thing. And then I take that same thing and I put it on my personal page. And then, I reach out to people. I do voicemails like, hey, just wanted to see how you guys are doing. Hey, let's catch up. I hope you guys have a happy holiday, blah, blah, blah. And then maybe I might do a postcard or a card or something like that. And I just really do everything. I might not do it all at once. I spread things out.
Right.
I spread it out throughout the year. But the point is omnipresence. Now, if everyone's like, hey, do you know an agent? Guess who's top of mind?
There you go. Right? You are.
You're top of mind. You're top of mind because you're the only agent they know. And freaking you're good because you must be good because you're on Facebook and some more advanced packages. You can be on YouTube and all that other stuff. But it's really an amazing thing once you fully accomplish the omnipresence.
That's just
but yeah, so that brings us back to what we do.
Yes. Well, tell us more. I mean, this is really interesting. I mean, with all the different tips that you've given us, not only calls or postcards or birthday cards, create conversations on social media. Wow, what more can you tell us? I mean, this is awesome.
Yeah, well, the key is like everyone, I'm sure everyone here thinks that these are great ideas.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, these are great ideas. So I'll never do them, but they're nice to know. So the key is like, how do we get this done? Right. That's where people really get stuck on the tools, technology. A lot of people have tools and technology here. They have no idea how to use because there's nothing really teaching them how to do it in this way, in a very structured way. And we made that same mistake, you know? But really what it comes down to is, look, the biggest problem for most of the agents, is that even though you know it's important, even though you know these are good ideas, you're going to put it off because you don't have time, or you're literally just going to look for ways to avoid it. You know, maybe you might look at your printer and be like, hey, you know, I'm supposed to make some calls right now, but let me put some more printer paper in the copy or whatever. Okay. And then you just fill your day with other stuff because you just don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. Then you don't have a system, right? So yeah, if you don't have a system, why would I want to do that? I don't want to. It's overwhelming. It's not consistent. If I have a system that's basically setting these, if I have a system in place, so I know who I'm supposed to call and when, and it's all organized and I don't have to worry about it. I put them in campaigns and then I know the campaign's going to take care of it until they reply or until I'm supposed to do something. That's what I want to rely on as those systems, right? So you want to have the right tools to do that. But why don't most agents implement? Well, this is what I found. One of the biggest reasons is simply struggling with implementation or using the technology tools that they've purchased or they even have access to. I talked to so many people, I'm sure you know as well, how many tools people have. Some people have 3 CRMs, 2 CRMs. They don't use them. They get CRMs, they have them, they buy products, they buy this, they buy that. You know why? I'm going to get into that. Why don't these get implemented? Well, they struggle with that. They don't have the budget. At least they feel like, oh, I don't have the budget to hire someone to do all this stuff for me. I need one day I'll get an assistant. They'll set this all up for me. Okay. And then they're unsure what tools to use. They're like, okay, I have these tools. Which ones do I use and how do they work? I can't tell you how many people purchase even our platform. They'll buy it. They'll understand. And then a month goes by or a couple of weeks go by and they're like, wait, what is this? What does it do? I forgot why I bought this. You know, it's like, that's common, right? Mm-hmm. Or they don't have all the pieces, and this one's really big. They don't have all the pieces or knowledge they need to implement properly. So what does that mean? Well, a lot of times when you're taught these strategies, even the stuff right now, oh, send a greeting card. Okay, what you're imagining is you writing a greeting card and putting it in the mail, buying a stamp, and sending it off. Like that's what you imagine. And then you imagine, I don't have time for that. And then I just say, no, just automate it. You're like, okay, where do I even start? No, just automate your text. Where do I start? Just automate your voicemail. Just automate this, create that. Like I could do this, but you have no idea what the pieces are you need, the technology you need, or the knowledge to, or nor do you have the knowledge to do that. So when you buy the software, and this was the biggest issue we had when we were selling our software previously, was there was this success gap. You know, it's like there's just missing pieces. And a lot of times, especially nowadays, it is the success gap is usually technology, because all these strategies require some form of tech, whether it be social media or integrating this or connecting an API or exporting your data. I mean, we run into people, they don't even know how to export the data from their CRM. So how the heck, if you don't know how to export your data from your CRM, how do you expect to use any kind of automation or technology at all? Yeah. We have people manually inputting as they get a lead from Zillow, manually putting that into their CRM. It's like, why don't you just automate that? Why are you doing this? Yeah. They don't know how. Mm. So that's why I created this program. And this is the program that Tessa just put in there. So I created a blueprint. It's like a map, right? It's like, this is exactly how you do it. But that's not always enough, because you can buy courses. How many of you bought courses and then got stuck because, oh, well, once you buy the course, now you realize, oh, well, now you need to go do this on Facebook, or now you got to go buy this CRM, or now you got to go buy this software, or now you got to go do this and that. There's a million different things.
Yeah.
We used to just sell tools, but now we realize like you need more. You need the blueprint, you need the map, but you also need the tools, because the tools are going to help you do what's taught more efficiently, right? You don't want to dig holes with your bare hands, of course. But then that wasn't it, because then we say, okay, here's the map, here's the training, here's the tools, go do it. And I'll still have people say, nobody helped me. Nobody, what do you mean nobody helped you? There's the training, there's the tools, there it is. We sent you the emails, we told you what to do. Oh, well, I needed help. Like, to do what? Log in? Like, they didn't do anything.
Right.
So it's like, okay, how about this? A guide. All right. We'll give you a guide. We'll do weekly calls so you can, if you like, I need help, just join the Zoom call that we set up for you. And with our team, right, we have like there's a small group, few people come who are stuck. They do their Q&A, or they have questions, they have obstacles. They're like, I don't know what to do next. Where should I go? Or what should I do? Or, okay, I started on this, but like, should I do this or should I do that? Right. So you need that advice. You need the guide to kind of point you through the shortcuts, or, oh, go this way instead of that way, and kind of look at what you're trying to do. Right.
Right.
But then, like I said, I discovered this tech. Everyone gets stuck on the technology.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, it turned into this, and you probably deal with this. People need help with tech stuff, right? So, what do? You go to like your son-in-law or your son or whatever. Right? Hey, help me. What do? Move out of the way, mom, and they do it for you, right?
Yes.
Just give me your login, I'll do it.
When my son or my husband has said that, okay, well, I'll get it done. Let's go. Right. I'm
yeah, because otherwise, trying to guide you over the phone is like a nightmare.
Cheryl Hansen has a quick question here. As you know, not only do we realtors put things off, which is so true, but we also have a lot of time, and that's true too.
No, don't have a lot of time, right?
And her question is, how long does it take to get this done? Good question.
Exactly. And so I'm going to address that, because that is one of the biggest concerns, right? They don't have time. Like, how am I going to get any of this done? I don't have time. So I'm definitely going to address that. So with that tech part, this is kind of that same idea. It's like, hey, how do I integrate this? Like, I mean, I have a support article that shows you how to do it, but if you want, just send me your login details and I'll just do it for you. Like, we'll be your son or your daughter or your tech person. Okay. Just send us your login details. We'll do it for you. That's what I figured they also need. So we can just get that out of the way. And this also helps on that time thing, because otherwise you're going to sit on the hour and you're going to sit on the phone for an hour and try and guide someone through this or do an email exchange. It's ridiculous. Right. So the other thing though is got to know the goal. Why are you doing all this for? Right. Because there's gold, there's deals in your database. That's basically why you're doing all this for. So essentially, this is what we're doing. This is very new as far as like making the offer in this way. Generally, like I said, we were just doing kind of like small group trainings, and it was like $5,000 to be part of the group, and we'd work with a few people and help them do it. What I ended up doing was I kind of took that and I took a part of that, should I say, and turned it into my blueprint. I said, okay, how can I make this something quick? Like, I'm not going to do this long drawn out course, but how can I do this something that agents can do in just an hour to 2 hours a week? And at the end of maybe 8 weeks or sooner, depending on their time, or even longer if they have less time, get this done so that it's finally done, right? Their follow-up systems are finally in place. Everything, their database is organized, they're tagged, they're categorized, all these different things. Like, how do I guide them through that? And also, how do I get them to get results as quickly as possible?
Right.
That's why I call it's the fastest way to transaction, or the fastest way to double your business. Because if you wanted to close a deal, like let's say you had to close a deal, or at least get a lead that was going to be something, like, what's the fastest way to do that?
Past clients, right? Your past
exactly.
mean, you don't have to keep nurturing them. You don't have to keep calling them. You don't have to keep selling yourself to them, right? You're already sold to them because you've already done a transaction with them.
Right.
So here's my question.
Exactly.
Wesley, here's my question. So those of us who do have assistants and teams, right? They would be the ones that would help out. Tell us a little bit about how that would work and fit into this.
Yeah. So basically, if you have an assistant, for example, we don't work with a lot of teams. Usually the teams have the resources and the stuff needed to set a lot of these things up. Although it's something that we can do, but it's be on a higher level package, you know, connecting a lot of those. It's more advanced. I'll just put it that way, because they usually have a lot of stuff going on. But in that case, it's really going to be about, like, if you have an assistant, that's probably the most common thing, is a lot of times they'll put the assistant through this, right? So the assistant actually learns. So they kind of both go at it, but the assistant's taking a lot of the hey, okay, so can you go in the CRM and tag all my past clients for the last 2 years? You know, so the agent and assistant may both go through it, but the assistant ends up the one doing all the homework. Let's put it that way.
Right.
So they're both going through it, but yeah, the assistant's the one ended up doing the homework.
Right.
In that case.
Well,
so
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, so basically what we've done is put together this program. You know, it's like, hey, would you rather do it with our help or without, right? I mean, obviously, if you'd like to have success right off the bat, which is kind of the whole point, I made it so that when you start, I put it very strategic in the order. And that's really, really important that a lot of people get wrong, is the order in which they do the things. So it's just like, where do I start?
Right.
And then maybe they know where to start, but then it's like, well, what do you do next? Like taking out everything, because there's a million things you can do next. You're inundated. You're overwhelmed with all these different options of things you can do next. But it's taking that, and that's why I call it my blueprint, the ultimate blueprint, because I literally just put it in order, exactly what you need to do. And what I was saying is, the fastest way to get a transaction, if you're like, dude, I need to make some sales now, it's like, go to your database.
Right.
Go to your database. Stop messing around with all this other BS that you're doing, you know, that's taking up all your time. And if you have a decent database, or you have 200, if you know 200 people, you know, a lot of people, you invite 200 people to your wedding. How do you not know 200 people, right? Yeah. Get these people in your database. Right. If you already have 200 more people in your database, and you already have the basis of what it takes to sell 10 to 20 deals a year. Right. Just off of there, you know? Yeah. So that's what it is. It's the ultimate follow-up blueprint. Tessa put the link there in the chat. Right. It's basically an entire training course, an entire digital follow system for agents who want step-by-step guidance, the tools, and everything. The cool thing about it is we've already created all the campaigns, all the emails, all the text, all the scripts you would need, everything. We've done like all the hard work for you. The company's been around since 2003.
Nice.
We used to do websites and stuff. Obviously, we've pivoted as we realized the needs of the agents have changed, and everyone and their mom started developing websites. But essentially, this is what we're doing. Like literally, my mom sets up websites now for it's the foundation, right? That's getting your map, your goals, getting that in knowing what you're going to do and why, getting your database organized. A lot of people are so. If you don't mind sharing in the chat, rate your database. You know, give yourself a grade. Do you get an A? Is your database organization an A, an A plus, a B, a C? Where are you at? And then how do you automate and systemize that follow-up so that you're leveraging that compound effect?
Right. And guys, if any one of you guys have missed this, you know, definitely. Oh, well, look at that. Kia says B minus. Okay. My office rates mine, and it's about 85% for Tiffany. Okay. Pretty cool.
Great.
Yeah. And again, if anyone has missed this.
Thanks for those two people participating. Yeah.
Okay, well, someone said Lovins, if I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. Mine is a C. It's a C. Okay, that's not bad. I mean, look, everyone rates their database and how they do it differently, right? So,
Right.
it's how you actually focus and produce from that. I think that is also important to acknowledge here as well. And those of you that are still on, those of you that have missed it, definitely going to be on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe there. And you'll get all this information over there as well in case you have to go. But I think Tina said it's C minus. So I'm a marketing coordinator and generally see them at a C minus. Okay. So this is really interesting, creating your own new campaign. Tell us a little bit about this, Wesley.
Yeah. So with the platform, where I see a lot of people get stuck is they get the course, but they're not sure how to translate that into the current tools that they have. So what we do is we're like, look, like you can still use your CRM if you're good with it or whatever, but if you're not really sure, then let's just simplify this and then you could choose what you want to do. So we're just going to give you the tools to get going. If you want to set this up in your own platform or your own CRM that you're using, you can, but just to keep it simple, we include something called our follow-up machine, right? And in that case, you get kind of a starter version of it so you can get it off the ground. And you're going to get access to creating your access to all our campaigns we've already created, right? That includes all the emails, all that stuff I mentioned, the content library, all of that. They're turnkey. These are this is just kind of a screenshot of some of the campaigns. So you go, you click, okay, I want to create a new follow-up campaign. What kind of follow-up? Is this going to be like, is there just new leads or these past clients, this and that, whatever? Again, the course tells you like based on where you're at, which campaigns to start with, but the campaigns have all the timings, all the events already all laid out for you. Now you can modify them and all that if you wanted, but they're all laid out. So you don't really have to put a ton of thought into this. You can kind of just, okay, looks good, and launch it. Add the people in there and launch it.
Wow. Just
so you don't have to go through all that headache. You have to figure all that out.
That's really nice.
The other piece too is with this particular bonus program, you're getting the digital follow-up ad system. So what I was saying about our clients going in and creating those holiday ads and things, we give you our easy ad creator where you can go in and create those ads in just minutes. We even wrote all the holiday messages, and that's just an example. We write all the messages, all the copy's already there. You just select one that works for you and that you like, and you can customize it. Put your image, select a stock photo, whatever you want to do. We've literally, like, my whole thing is, guys, I've been doing this a long time. So I know.
Plug and go. That's what the system is all about. I was trying to look at that.
It's about simple. It's about simple and fast. And if you're looking for something, like I have people, I want to do this. I'm like, nah, dude, if you're like advanced, go do something. Like I'm building this for the people who are like, I'm not technical savvy. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. It's like, that's what this is for. It's just because of me coming from where I come from. I come from a tech support background, I was a tech support when I was in my 20s. I was a developer, developed software, all these different things, and really worked with agents. And it was just, finally, we figured out like how to make this so simple for anybody. Now, the only thing we get is people go through it so quick and so easily that they're like, what do I do next? Like, what do I need to do to get this started? I'm like, dude, you did it. You're done.
Wow.
When they're creating their ads and stuff, because they just can't believe creating an ad is so easy.
Yeah.
It works with any CRM or lead generation platform. So wherever you're generating leads or working with, we can connect that for you. I'll get to the price and the bonuses. If you need a CRM, we give you one. A lot of you may have one. If you don't, we give you one so that way you don't have to worry about it. If you don't have a Facebook page to run your ads, we give you one. If you don't have a website already, we give you one.
Wow.
You get the whole suite there, because people will come in and be like, oh, I don't have this, or I don't have that, or I don't have this. And I don't want to send them off somewhere like, okay, go get this, go do this. Like, that's not easy.
It's right here.
That's not easy. I want everything to be integrated. I want everything to just work, okay, and just be just work. And then one of the coolest things is the tech support that I already talked about a lot earlier. Never getting stuck on the technical, connecting software, APIs, all that stuff, right? So we have our support. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But this is what I wanted to cover. This is what we help people accomplish.
I mean, this is
Organized.
a whole system, organized system, and it's right here created for you guys. This is great, Wesley. So tell us the last minute, what is the price of all this?
Yeah. So basically, the price of all this is very cheap. Now I'm going to get into that right now. So really, I just want to point out what you're accomplishing, guys. If you have systemized opportunities, let's say you're getting referrals now, but it's not systemized. Just imagine what you could do with your referrals if you're doing it on purpose, right? If this was more designed rather than by accident. No more lost opportunities. You talk to people on the phone, you talk to people, you meet people, and you forget to follow up. You forget to check back 3 months, 6 months from now. What if you can just put them in a campaign that followed up with, reminded you to call them in 6 months, but in the meantime, also dripped and created that conversation automatically for you. So you didn't have to go and make that effort, right? So no more lost opportunities. Personalized follow-up plan, which is basically you figuring out where are you at and how can you ensure that your calendar, your follow-up, makes sense for what you're doing. Plus, I teach you how to have more productive, genuine conversations. So this is where a lot of people get stuck. They don't know what to say. I'm going to tell you exactly how these calls should go, how you can make those calls super, super,
Simple.
I guess,
Simple.
valuable for you and them, right? Systemize your social media so that way you're not wasting time and effort, connecting all your systems, helping you to understand some of those goals and numbers. Because once you understand, now you know which levers and which buttons to push and which levers to pull that actually grow your income. A lot of people don't understand that. Once they see it, it's like the light bulb goes off, right? And then most importantly, a deeper relationship with your past clients and sphere. There is no better source of referrals or business than those who already know, like, and trust you, which we talked about. So that's everything you're going to get, right? The Ultimate Follow Blue course, the 8-week group implementation Zoom calls. That's basically where we have those Zoom calls every week. You can hop on and get your questions answered as you're going through the course. You're going to get our starter follow-up machine free for an entire year. Get the entire library of all my emails, campaigns, texts, everything, the follow-up ad software, the complimentary CRM, the website, all the prompts, scripts, calculators, all that stuff, and other trainings and bonuses we're including in there as well. All of that is a total retail value of $6,000. I'd love to charge you $6,000. It would be more than worth $6,000 because you get five deals off of this in a year. I'm sure most of you make probably 20, 30,000 total, right?
Right.
Even if you're making a transaction. I know you make a lot more.
Yes.
Right. But you know what? You know how hard it is to get an agent to pull $6,000, even though they know they're going to 5X or 10X that investment, how hard it is to get to pull out $6,000. It's really hard. So for that reason, you got to make it easy. You got to make it easy. Right. So that's why we're doing it for $998.
Wow.
That's for the whole program. If you want to run your
LabCoatAgents, right? I mean, this is what we're offering our LabCoatAgents right here, right now.
That's correct. Yes.
That's $998. That is so cool. Oh my God, that's amazing. Okay, cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah, so you get all that for $998. I mean, I see courses that sell by themselves for $998, but then you still got to go do all the other crap. You know, I got to go get the tools. You got to go do this. You got to do that. You got to do this. It's like, this gives you the full thing. Like, I don't want you to go through and like be missing something, you know, I want you to have all of it. We also accept PayPal credit. So you can do that interest free. And then we also have a payment plan. So you can do 2 payments for $574. Now there's really no excuse. I don't care how broke you are, or what your excuse is. As long as you've got some contacts in your database, I recommend anywhere from 100 to 200 contacts, then you need to systemize your follow-up, and then you need to learn how you can grow that thing and leverage it.
Well, this is
right?
awesome. Thank you so much, Wesley. This is a great system. This is amazing to be able to keep in touch with your clients, let alone your past clients only, right? So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and new. So it does both. If you have new leads coming in, that's fine. You could set up follow campaigns for new leads to nurture those. It handles your speed to lead issue. It handles the retargeting, helps to nurture those leads over time with those follow-up ads. And then you have your past clients, which is, I always go with the past clients because those, to me, that's just like, that's the fastest way. So that's why I focus a lot on that. And most people I talk to just aren't leveraging, and not just past clients, but sphere.
Right.
Because people are like, well, I only have like 10 past clients. It's like, well, that's okay. Like, do you know more than 10 people? Like,
exactly.
How many Facebook friends do you have?
Right. And who you put in your database matters, because then at the end of the day, you can take care of this and get referrals out of it. Well, thank you so much for your time. This was amazing. Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to all our attendees that attended. Thank you so much. For any other questions, you can certainly call Wesley, text Wesley, or even leave a message here on the.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a text or anything in there, but you definitely, if you go to that blueprint start, there's a little conversation starter there that could connect you to my team if you have any questions or anything like that. I'll also put my email in case you did have anything. I'll put my email.
And thank you everybody for joining us. Today. Happy New Year, everyone. Once again, thank you so much, Wesley. And his email address is right here if you do want to email him directly. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, whether you buy this product or you decide to go it on your own, that's fine. Please, who's making a commitment for 2021?
Me, right here.
To make a better effort to reach out to their database, their past clients, the people they know, their sphere. That's what this all really comes down to. Our system makes it easier, absolutely. But whether you're using our system or not, I don't care if you're using an Excel spreadsheet, just do it. Please.
Absolutely.
And then come back and share the results.
That's it.
I promise you. And now's a great time. The holidays is a great time to make those calls.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Wesley, for your time. I appreciate it. Bye for now.
Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.